Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin pumping, new all-time highs in play, price discovery, send it. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest technical analysis as well as breaking news. Options trading on BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF could list as soon as tomorrow. Can you say bullish? We'll also be discussing Bitcoin daily pennant targets 125,000 as Bitcoin coils near the all-time high. We're so close. Also breaking news. Semler Scientific reports 37.3% Bitcoin yield as it continues to expand its holdings by 1,273 BTC, now valued at $114 million. And quoting RFK Jr., I put most of my wealth into Bitcoin, so I am fully committed. Let's go, RFK. We'll also be discussing spot Bitcoin ETFs hit 1.7 billion weekly inflows, marking 6-week streak. Bring it, 95.4 billion in total net assets for the Bitcoin ETFs. And breaking news, MicroStrategy buys another $4.6 billion worth of Bitcoin as the price hits new highs. That's right, their holdings are now 331,200 Bitcoin, valued at over $30 billion. I'll be breaking that down for you. I'll also be discussing bullish Michael Saylor projecting Bitcoin being worth 100 million per coin, which means the US dollar will have effectively lost 99.9% of its value over 100 years. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. Welcome everyone to the live stream. Good to be here today. It's a beautiful week to break 100 G's. What do you got to say to that? If you're new to the channel, important to smash the likes, then go ahead and subscribe. 40% of you that watch every day are not subscribed. Get with the program. Then hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications. Today is pod episode 1822. I'm your host, JV. It's November 18th, 2024. Moonvember in full swing. Michael Saylor putting his money where his mouth is. Just purchased another 4.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. Like it ain't no thing. We got a lot to share with you, a lot in the headlines, lots of bullishness, which we love to celebrate here with the Crypto News Alerts fam. So without further ado, let's kick it off with our market watch. You're looking at Coin 360. Good to see the entire market back in the green as we've been correcting over the weekend. A little bit of consolidating. We have Ether still in the green, virtually everything minus SUI, BNB, and AVAX. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap is sitting still above 3 trillion, which we love to see. 3.05 trillion to be exact. The Bitcoin market cap is just shy of 1.8 trillion. Wow, pretty fantastical. And we have 191 billion worth of volume past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance 58.8%. Ether dominance pretty low at 12.4%. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. Tezos, big 52% gainer on the day. Hedera up 41%, and Theta up roughly 20%. Let me know which alt, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective. Let's start on the daily. We'll work our way back. Safe to say, I'd say 75% of the market in the green. And zooming out on the weekly, I'd say maybe 80 to 85% of the market in the green. And zooming out for the monthly, virtually everything in the green, which we love to see. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, today we're in 83 extreme greed. Yesterday a 90. And as I always mention, the higher this metric goes, the more likely of a correction. And again, we did have a little correction over the weekend. Last week was a 76, and last month a 72 in greed. And checking out the time chain calendar, we have 179,091 blocks into the next halving of 2028. Maybe Bitcoin will be a milli by then. What are your thoughts? We're currently on block number 870,909. And for those of you new, we get a new block virtually every 10 minutes on the Bitcoin network, the most secure network in the entire world. So stack them sats accordingly. And it looks like I got to do a little refresh. A little hard refresh. I want to see how many sats we can get for $1. Today, you can get 1,101 Satoshis per dollar. So stack them sats accordingly. So let's dive into today's technical analysis, aka astrology. for the broskies. And we'll also be pulling up some of the live charts. I think you're going to like what you see. Bitcoin price dips 3% as the liquidity hunt follows 4.6 billion MicroStrategy buy. 4.6 billion. It's going up forever, Laura. As you can see in the 1-hour chart, Bitcoin gave back early week gains at the November 18th Wall Street Open as the liquidity hunt came for the late longs. That's right. TradingView showed a 3% price drop, taking Bitcoin below the weekly close. That weekly close marked Bitcoin's highest ever, but news that business intelligence firm MicroStrategy purchased 4.6 billion worth of the Bitty over the past week appeared to sour the mood. Quoting Dan Crypto Trades, usually we get a short-term dump on Saylor's buy announcement as it explains a lot of the buying that was done. But Bitcoin hit a new all-time high just on November 13th, 5 days ago, at 93.5, the current price discovery mode. And I believe 100K in play for this particular week. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. And quoting another trader by the name of Josh Rager, Bitcoin is just ranging, and it is very healthy after a 40% move up in just over a week. Exactly. Let that one sink in. In the meantime, let the alts fly and find price discovery. Current market win-win for the entire crypto industry. We call it the Trump pump. Ever since the November 5th election W for the Trumpster, the entire markets have been lit, to say the least. Quoting another analyst by the name of Mikhail Van de Popp, I think we'll see a substantial dip across markets in the coming 1 to 2 weeks. But for now, enjoy the upward ride. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Meanwhile, the Bitty began taking a wall of liquidity with its move below 90. As Scoo noted, increasing short positioning now entering the market. Just be careful out there shorting the Bitty. You may get wrecked. But quoting him here, a lot of shorts just opened here into the price that's still chasing 2,000 plus Bitcoin in shorts. Some minor long capitulation as well as that move. And as CoinGlass points out here, they put the 24-hour Bitcoin long liquidations at 35 million at the time of this article being published. And quoting Scoo, usually these walls get pulled, but this time they actually got sold into and mostly got filled. Funny if it was not intentional, but let's see if the price area gets defended now. And Dan Crypto Trades added that Bitcoin had filled its latest gap. I dig it. For the CME, Bitcoin futures market. In big news, I got to announce here, options trading on BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF could list as soon as tomorrow. Can you say bullish? And before we get any further, I also want to pull up the live charts, as I always promised to you guys, a little live chart action Jackson for the CNA fam. Here we're looking at the monthly, so let's zoom the hell in and go to the 1 hour and work our way back so you can see where we're at. We do have a target on the 1 hour in the blue at 105,000, which will hit our big target. I mean, 105 in play. I'd love to see that happen this week. Anything is possible. The reality, Bitcoin has no top because fiat has no bottom, aka it's going up forever, Laura. Let me know if you agree. And zooming out from the 1 hour, let's check out the cuatro, ahora, the 4 hour. How's JV's Espanol coming along? Let me know. Okay, so we're currently sitting just above 91,100. We're bullish. There's a bullish pennant formation. 4 hour chart looking lit. There's a rising wedge. There's a green target sitting at 108. I love to see these $108,000 targets. Send it. Let me know when you feel we'll likely achieve that 4 hour target. Man, I can't wait. That's going to be pretty lit. And from there, we'll check out the 1 day chart. Also bullish. You can see how much we have climbed with some mega Godzilla candles, getting very close to the God candle. In fact, I think we had an $8,000 daily climb. You can see in that big, sexy looking green candle a few days back. And that's the largest gain on the daily chart since the inception of Bitcoin, over 8,000 fiat dollars in a single day. Crazy, right? And we're just getting started. God candles are incoming. Mark my words. And zooming out. From there, we check out the 1 week, still should have that sexy cup and handle target, which I believe is in play here in Q4. 124,000. We're halfway through Q4. Moonvember has not disappointed. In fact, let's zoom out and check out the 1 month. And you can see the massive candle forming here for Moonvember as we still got 2 weeks yet to finish the month. Massive. Bigger already for the gains of this month than the previous 2 months, which also closed in the green. So things are looking on the up and up. But let me know where you feel the Bitcoin price action is likely to take us next. Don't be a stranger. Next story, let's discuss the 125,000 target. in play. Headline reads, Bitcoin daily pennant targets 125 Gs as Bitcoin coils near the all-time high. As you can see here, Bitcoin price registered a new weekly high close for the second consecutive week after recording a 12% rise over the past 7 days. Bitcoin's up 31% for the month as prices continue to consolidate near the all-time high. We're only 1,500 away right now at the time of the live. And with TA demonstrating a bullish outlook across all time periods, one analyst believes another 40% rise might unfold over the next few days. Send it. Bitcoin rallied 40% between November 4th and the 13th. Wow. After the Bitcoin price discovery commenced post ADGs, sayonara ADGs, and since reaching the all-time high of 93.5, its value has oscillated between the all-time high and 87. And during the consolidation period, Super Bitcoin, bruh, an anonymous TA, indicated that Bitcoin formed a bullish pennant on the daily chart. The bullish pennant is a continuation pattern that occurs after a significant rise, followed by a consolidation period at the higher price end of the range, as we can see outlined right here in the chart. By the Super Bitcoin, bruh. Do you even Bitcoin, bruh? The positive breakout from the pennant could potentially lead to the next leg up for the biddy, measured at 125 Gs, baby. 40% from the current price point. However, important to note that the success rate of the bullish pennant is only around 54%, which makes it one of the least reliable patterns. Well, it means it's more likely to hit it than not. 54? Am I wrong or am I right? Am I right or am I right? Yes or yes. Additionally, Koosh, a Bitcoin trend analyst, predicted a similar price targeting range for the biddy, which lies between 130 and 145,000 by the end of the year. Send it. Their long-term outlook is based on the Elliott wave theory, and according to the analyst, Bitcoin's currently at the fifth wave because we're fifth level sexy Gs. The steepest part of the move is in front of us. That's right. Meanwhile, Coinbase Premium indicates uncertainty at 90 Gs. It seems like Coinbase has taken a breath to decide its next move. It would be wise for conservative traders to enter after the Coinbase Premium regains the momentum. According to Crypto Quant, this aligns with the fact that the Bitcoin transaction volume under 100,000 reached a new 3-year high. Crypto Quant CEO believes that the retail FOMO like a MOVO under the 100,000 limit might lead to a formation of exit liquidity for the whales. Yet the on-chain analysts emphasize that these corrections will only mean dips and not the beginning of another bear market. Good point. Now, on the lower time frame, Bitcoin repeatedly bounced from the ascending triangle and is currently facilitating another retest. The price has also received support from the 50-day and 100 exponential moving average levels, and it's currently oscillating right now above the psychological level of 90 Gs. 90 is the new bottom, fam. And a breakout and significant close above 93.5 would signal another price discovery period. Again, we're less than 2% away from that at the time of the live, with 100,000 as its immediate target. I repeat, immediate target. So send it. 100K in play, 6 figs. Let's go. Another adoption from a major company, Semler Scientific, reports 37.3% Bitcoin yield as it continues to expand its holdings. Tech solutions provider Semler Scientific said it achieved a Bitcoin yield of 37.3% since adopting its Bitcoin treasury strategy earlier in the year, demonstrating significant growth for the stakeholders. The company uses the biddy yield as a key performance indicator to assess the success of its Bitcoin acquisition strategy. The firm said that the KPI is used to supplement an investor's understanding of the company's decision to fund the Bitcoin buys by issuing additional shares of its common stock. And apart from Semler Scientific, of course, MicroStrategy also uses the Bitcoin yield to track the performance of its Bitcoin buys. November 18th, Semler Scientific announced it had acquired an additional 215 Bitcoin for $17.7 million in cash between November 6th and the 15th. The coins were bought at an average price of $82,500, including other expenses and fees. Looks like that buy is in the green, as we're sitting above 92. Now, with its most recent Bitcoin purchase, Semler Scientific's total Bitcoin holdings reached 1,273, acquired for $88 million at an average price of 69 Gs, baby. With Bitcoin trading now above 92, the value of the company's Bitcoin is now above 114 million. Eric Semler, the chairman of the company, said in a press release the company's Bitcoin yield results demonstrate a substantial Bitcoin accretion for the stakeholders. According to him here, we have achieved the Bitcoin yield of 37.3% since adopting our Bitcoin treasury strategy in the second quarter of the year. Can you say hashtag winning? November 4th, the company's CEO, Doug Murphy, said Semler Scientific is laser focused with the laser eyes on acquiring and holding the biddy. The CEO also noted the company is exploring financial opportunities to allow it to buy more Bitcoin. You can never have enough. That's Michael. Now, meanwhile, MetaPlanet announced an 11.3 million bond issuance to buy more of the biddy. Bring it. Now, Japanese investment firm MetaPlanet, who some coined the Japanese MicroStrategy, announced plans on Monday, November 18th, today, to acquire more Bitcoin. Are you starting to see the bigger picture, family? MetaPlanet said it issued a one-year ordinary bond worth 1.7 billion yen, which is 11.3 million USD, to buy more of the biddy. The publicly traded company said it is board of directors decided to issue the bonds for an annual interest rate of 0.36%. Can't go wrong there. The company has set the redemption rate on November 17, 2025, following in the footsteps of Michael Saylor with the Saylor put. Let's dive into our next story of the day, eh? Let's discuss the latest with RFK Jr. Gotta respect this man. He's gonna make America healthy again. Even though he was just eating McDonald's on the private jet with Elon and Trump, it is what it is. At least it was Kamala serving them, right? Quoting him here, I put most of my wealth into Bitcoin, so I am fully committed. I like that kind of commitment, don't you? RFK Jr., former presidential candidate and current cabinet nominee, made headlines once again with his statement that he had invested most of his wealth into Bitcoin. Know what that tells me? Smart man. You know, I got to respect the fact he does push-ups and pull-ups. A lot of people don't care about their health, and they do nothing. I don't want a transgender in charge of our health for the United States. I want RFK Jr. I respect the fact he does ups in his age, whatever his age may be, because I do ups every day, and I got to respect it. Anyways, the former independent candidate described Bitcoin as the currency of freedom in a November 16th online post, reiterating the digital asset power to hedge against the currency inflation debasement. And in a recently surfaced video, here's what he had to share. I am a huge supporter of Bitcoin. I was here a year ago at the other Bitcoin conference. I went home and put most of my wealth into Bitcoin. I am fully committed, all in on the biddy. Kennedy has been an outspoken proponent of Bitcoin for some time, and I got to respect it because I always respect his, I believe it was his uncle who was assassinated, JFK, you know what I mean? And obviously he was going to do things like end the Fed, and he got assassinated, unfortunately, but yeah. Respect to the whole family. Arguing that the decentralized supply cap, neutral currency, and the other hard assets such as gold and silver could stabilize the US dollar from currency devaluation. Quoting RFK Jr. here from a tweet, November 16th, Bitcoin is the currency of freedom, a hedge against inflation for middle-class Americans, a remedy against the dollar's downgrade from the world's reserve currency, and the off-ramp from a ruinous national debt. What, 36 trillion? Bitcoin will have no stronger advocate than Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick, obviously, he runs Cantor Fitzgerald, a multi-billion-dollar asset manager, multi-billionaire himself. He holds hundreds of millions worth of Bitcoin, and I know his company manages billions worth of Tether. If Howard Lutnick becomes Treasury Secretary, game on. Bullishness, bro. Now, in July of 2023, RFK Jr. revealed he bought Bitcoin for each of his children. You got to respect that. What a great Chad. Right after the Bitcoin conference, I got a big check, and I said, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. So I bought 2 of the biddy for every one of my 7 children, 2 per child. Respect. Now, in April of 2024, the former independent candidate revealed he wanted to place the entire U.S. fiscal budget on chain to achieve maximum transparency and government accountability. And during the Nashville 2024 event, RFK Jr., who had the best speech there, by the way, promised to establish a Bitcoin strategic reserve. And if elected president, he vowed to purchase like 4 million Bitcoin for the United States. Good Lord. And in July of 2024, he did an interview stressing Bitcoin could guarantee the US dollar's reserve currency status. Guaranteed. Kennedy said Bitcoin was inevitable, and we need to move as a country that's able to get some of the control over Bitcoin as part of the reserve. And precisely what we're witnessing. Even Trump, very bullish on the Bitcoin. He spoke at the conference as well. So we got the Bitcoin team working for you. We got the Bitcoin team working for the entire nation of the United States of America. And however many people live in this fine land, I would speculate somewhere between 300, 400 million people. Shout out Eugene Brooks. Respect, family. Appreciate the sub. Bitcoin's doing its thing. We're maintaining above 91.5. We already tapped 92. We're roughly 8,000 away from 100K. We're roughly 2,000 away from price discovery. The Oracle predicts 250 Gs end of the year, 1 million cycle peak 2025. I'm sticking to my prediction. Respect the pump. I respect that prediction. Let's make her happen, Captain. Our next story of the day, we're going to be discussing the latest with Bitcoin ETF inflows, which have been unprecedented. Spot Bitcoin ETFs hit 1.7 billion weekly inflows, marking 6-week streak. Let's go. That's right. The Bitcoin ETFs continue their upwards momentum, posting another successful week as the crypto markets continue to surge. Spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded a net inflow of 1.6 billion in the trading week, November 11th to the 15th, marking 6 consecutive weeks of positive flows, according to data from Value. BlackRock's iBit now leads cumulative historic inflows with almost 30 billion, while the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust saw outflows of 20 billion since the Spot Bitcoin ETFs began trading January 11th, ultimately meaning all the outflows from GBTC went right into Larry Fink's Bitcoin wallets. It's just the way the world works. And in line with the positive trend on the spot Bitcoin ETF market, other markets like the spot Ether ETFs also experienced growth, hitting 515 million worth of weekly inflows, marking a 3-week streak of positive flows. In total, Ether ETFs have attracted 682 million worth of the net inflows over the past 3 weeks. And since October of the 11th, I love the 11, spot Bitcoin ETFs have recorded 6 straight weeks of inflows totaling almost 9 billion, according to Value. These inflows brought the total assets under management for the spot Bitcoin ETFs to 95 billion, equivalent to 5% of the Bitcoin's 1.8 trillion market cap. And we just recently tapped a new all-time high market cap. The continued buying of the Bitcoin ETF market came amid the Bitcoin surge past 90 Gs for the first time in history, with a new all-time high sitting at 93.5. And we're on the cusp of breaking that any moment. Billionaire investor Paul Tudor Jones is amongst those increasing their exposure to the spot Bitcoin ETFs because he's a smart man. The hedge fund manager substantially increased positions in the BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF in the third quarter, adding 130 million worth of the iBit shares. Paul Tudor Jones for the win. Now a top 10 hodler of iBit, which is ultimately the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. In his latest 13 FHR report, Jones indicated holding nearly 160 million worth of the iShares Bitcoin Trust. Why such rookie numbers, brother? You need to pull the Michael Saylor. Pull the rabbit out of the hat. The exposure makes Jones the 9th biggest hodler of the iBit shares, following Millennium Management, Goldman Sachs Group, and IMC Chicago, and the others, according to data from the Holdings Channel. It's crazy how all of Wall Street is pumping our bags. I dig it. Some top iBit hodlers also beefed up the Bitcoin ETF exposure in the third quarter, with investment bank giant Goldman Sachs increasing its Bitcoin ETF holdings by 71% to 710 milli. And according to the data from crypto investment firm CoinShares, the global inflows of crypto exchange traded products amounted to 2.2 billion. Last week, CoinShares head of research James Butterfield, not to be confused with Butterbean, the boxer, also observed that the Bitcoin all-time high triggered 866 milli worth of the outflow in the second part of the week, following 3 billion worth of the inflows. So there you go, crypto bruh. Now for our feature story of the day. MicroStrategy buys an additional $4.6 billion of the Bitcoin as the price hits new highs, as we're fast approaching price discovery, 6 figs in play. I'm also going to be sharing with you the Giga Chad's $100 million Bitcoin price prediction. Here we go. MicroStrategy, one of the world's largest public hodlers of the Bitty, continue to stack the Bitcoin, even as Bitcoin broke new highs. Saylor has said many times, I'll be buying the top forever. Why? It's going up forever, Laura. That's right. November 18th today, MicroStrategy announced it purchased an additional 51,780 Bitcoin for about $4.6 billion at an average price of $88,627 per BTC. And with the latest acquisition, the MicroStrategy total Bitcoin holdings have grown to 331,200 BTC, purchased at an aggregate cost of $16.5 billion. The average price per Bitcoin across all purchases, if you dollar cost average, is less than 50,000. It's 49,874 to be exact. So they're up almost 100% on their initial purchase, the acquisition value. You know what I mean? Because right now their holdings are probably roughly 30 billion. And again, they got 16.5 billion of their own money in. MicroStrategy used fresh proceeds from a share sale under a sales agreement with companies like TD Securities made the October 30th to acquire thousands of new Bitcoin. My question is, where the hell are they getting 50,000 Bitcoin from? I hear there's barely any left on the exchanges, which means incoming supply shock numbers go up, fam. And as part of the agreement, MicroStrategy issued and sold shares between TD Securities, Barclays Capital, the benchmark company, Canaccord Genuity, I don't know that word, Genuity, Cantor Fitzgerald, shout out my man Howard Lutnick, Maxim Group, Mizuho Securities, and SG America Securities. And between November 11th and the 13th, MicroStrategy sold 13.6 million shares for $4.6 billion. So he ultimately sells the MicroStrategy sales and buys the Bitcoin, and he just continues to accumulate like there's no tomorrow. And as of November 17th, the company reported 15.3 billion in shares still available for sale under the agreement. Damn. And according to a filing with the US SEC, the purchase came amid Bitcoin breaking past 90,000 with a new all-time high being 93.5, which we achieved roughly 5 days ago, which we ushered in live on stream. Now, this is the largest ever Bitcoin purchase by MicroStrategy. That's right. The latest Bitcoin acquisition by MicroStrategy is the largest, accounting for more than 16% of the Bitcoin held by the company in one purchase. And according to the data from CryptoQuant, the 51,780 Bitcoin purchase is the largest Bitcoin purchase on record by MicroStrategy. That's the only strategy. Now founded in 1989. Damn. So what, I was 6 years old when MicroStrategy launched. It's currently the largest identified institutional Bitcoin hodler globally, according to data from Bitcoin Treasuries, and the first publicly traded company to adopt the Bitcoin on the balance sheet. That was back in 2020. And then 1 year later, Bukele announced making Bitcoin a legal tender in El Salvador. Now, formerly led by its founder, Saylor, MicroStrategy debuted Bitcoin investment with a $250 million Bitcoin purchase. Wow, they've come a long way from a $250 million purchase to like a $42 billion Bitcoin promise over the course of the next 3 years. And since making Bitcoin its primary reserve currency in 2020, MicroStrategy has regularly bought it in batches. I mean, here's an outline of the top 10 identified institutional Bitcoin holders. MicroStrategy leading the pack by far. It can show you the market cap, 71, what is that? 71, I don't know exactly, the point million. But nonetheless, you can see the numbers up there. And in October, MicroStrategy announced plans, as I mentioned earlier, to raise another $42 billion over the next 3 years to continue buying more of the Biddy. So they're not slowing down. The plan called it the 21-21 plan, consisting of $21 billion in equity and $21 billion in fixed income securities over the next 3 years. And at the rate and pace of Michael Saylor, you know, he said he promised to do this in 3 years. He may achieve that in 1 year. Under promise, over deliver. That's the Giga Chad. And amid the Bitcoin hitting new historic records last week, MicroStrategy's founder, Saylor, ruled out the chances of Bitcoin retracing to 60 Gs. Let me know if you agree. I agree. I think 90 is the new bottom, personally. He says, I don't think it is going to 60. It is not going to 30. Agreed. I think it is going up forever, Laura. Precisely. And now for some tweets. This was the Saylor announcement earlier today from his X profile. MicroStrategy has acquired 51,780 Bitcoin for $4.6 billion at $88,627 per Biddy and achieved a Bitcoin yield of 20.4% quarter to date and a 41.8% year to date. And as of November 17th, we hodled 331,200 Bitcoin, acquired for $16.5 billion at 49,000 on average per Bitcoin. Michael Saylor doing big things. Dylan LeClaire chimed in. 21 billion at the moment, gone by the end of the year. And in other interesting predictions I want to share with you here. This was when he was on Patrick Bet-David's pod, and again, he's going to appear on the podcast again today, so I wonder what the updates are. But when he appeared, he shared. He was actually asked by Patrick Bet-David, what's your true thoughts on the potential of Bitcoin as far as the price? And he made this very bold prediction, which is the largest price prediction we have ever heard from the Giga Chad, and he's on record stating, word for word from the interview, Bitcoin is on a path to be worth $100 million, which means that the US dollar will have lost 99.9% of its value over 100 years. Warren Buffett knows this. Charlie Munger knows this. Of course they know this. So there you go. And I'm going to read another very bullish prediction from the Giga Chad. Which one should I choose? I'm going to do this one. Bitcoin is about to 425x. Here's why, according to Saylor, quoting him verbatim from an interview. Because Bitcoin is just pure money. It's just as effective at 100,000 a coin as it is 10,000 a coin, and at $1 million a coin, it's just as effective. And at 10 million a coin, it's probably more compelling at 10 million a coin than 1 million or 100,000 a coin. It's kind of a universally scalable asset that gets less risky. The only thing that's going to change, in my opinion, is when it was super risky and scary below 10,000, you were getting 100 to 200% a year annualized gains. And then when it got a bit more understandable between 10,000 and 100,000, your gains go to 40 or 50% a year. And then at some some point, they go to 30% and then 20%. And in the extreme, if everybody in the world understood Bitcoin, it could be 20, 30, 40% of the wealth in the world. So it would be 200 to 300 trillion in today's dollars. And then the price would be appreciating at the rate of global inflation, the fiat currency. In fiat currency. So if the gold inflation rate remains a 7, it would still remain a 7, and then it would appreciate a little bit more because of the productivity of the people that adopt it as a treasury reserve asset. And he predicted it, because this prediction was quite a while ago. And what's happening right now? Trump wants to make Bitcoin a treasury reserve asset, along with RFK Jr. and Cynthia Lummis, and now we have other nation leaders around the world pledging to do the same. So what are your thoughts on the 100 milli price prediction? Holla at your boy. And welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream as we continue to pump it up. 92 is here. We're about 1,500 away from price discovery, family. 100K in play. I got a feeling.
Spaced out to the moon with no control. A bitty up, doing bitty don't. Fill up my cup, mazel tov, look at it rising. Just taking off, feel. Let's paint our future with a green candle glow. Let's hit a new all-time Bitcoin high and then we'll do it again. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, and do it, and do it. Let's pump it up. I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a pump night. It's gonna be a pump night. It's gonna be
a Bitcoin pump night.